This is Unit 8, review number 2, questions number 3 and 4. So number 3, we're given y is equal to x to the third plus 2, y equals 5, and x equals 0.5. Make sure you're careful and see that 0.5 in there. So when I do this, I'm going to first graph my x to the third plus 2, so that's just an x to the third graph moved up 2. I have y is equal to 5. So that's 2, here's 3, 4, 5. So there's a horizontal line coming across. And the last one here we have x is equal to 0.5, so that's equal to 1/2. So it's going to be right in the middle here, so it's going to be coming down. Again, we're looking for the area that is enclosed by all 3 of those graphs. That's going to be this little section right here. All right, now I need to determine what I'm rotating around, and it says about the x-axis. So I'm going to rotate around the x-axis, that's this right here. Our rotation, therefore, is going to be a top-bottom. The area here I could do either as a top-bottom or as a right-left. All right, so if I look at this as a problem that matches up the top-bottom, that means I'm going to use the first method. So I'm actually going to show both for this one. All right, so when I do this, I'm going to have my integral of this is going to be my pi, and I have my top squared minus my bottom squared. Again, I'm doing this as a top-bottom, it matches up, and I use it all as my x's. So this is going to be the top all squared minus my bottom all squared here. And that's dx. So when I set this up, again, I need to find my bounds. I need to plug in my top and my bottom. So the top here is going to be the blue line, so that's the x equals 5. So that's going to be from 5 squared minus the bottom, which is the x to the third plus 2 squared. So that's my top minus my bottom squared. And I need to find my bounds. So the bounds here, again, if that's my top and my bottom, my bounds have to be left and right. So that's the x value there is going to be 0.5. Again, on the calculator, you can go and find that this is going to be 1.442 for the x value there. All right, so I go through and I do that. And at this point, you can simplify this a little bit. You can make that a 25 if you want. Again, if you're doing this by hand, you're going to FOIL that, add it all together, and then simplify up. Your answer here should come out for number 3 to be 42.945 units cubed. All right, now if I wanted to do this using the method of shells instead of washers, that means now I'm going to match it up like this. So I'm going to do this as a right-left problem. So the second method here, I'm going to do the integral of 2 pi y and then right minus left dy. So again, I set this up, the integral of 2 pi y, right side minus left side. So the right side now is the red. I have to solve this for my x. So when I do that, that's going to be y minus 2 equals x to the third. Take the third root of both sides, and you get the third root of y minus 2. That's all underneath, and that's your right side. And then I have to subtract the left side, which is going to be the 0.5. So minus 0.5 is all dy. All right, so now I need to find out the intersection point down here. Again, if I'm doing this as a right, left, I need my bounds, the top and the bottom here. So my top is going to be that line y is equal to 5. Now I have to find out what this point is going to be right there. I need the y value of that. So it's x is equal to 0.5. So if I take my x equals 0.5, I'm actually going to do this because I don't have this on my key. So I'm going to take my x equals 0.5, and I'm going to plug that into my x to the third plus 2 there. So that's going to be, again, just 0.5 to the third, and plus 2. That gives you 2.125. So that is what I'm going to use down here, 2.125. And again, if you take that, plug that into Math 9, you should end up with 42.945 units cubed. All right, last one for this video, number 4. Kind of crazy looking one in the beginning there. We have an y(x squared) equals 5. And, the y equals 1/2 x plus 2, and x equals 5. So for this one, what I would recommend that you do is you're going to first solve this for the y. So that means y is going to equal to 5 over x squared. So again, when you're graphing that first one, y is equal to 5 over x squared. All right, and then if you graph that on the calculator, you're going to see what that's going to look like. And it's basically going to be a 1 over x graph. You notice it's an x squared, so they're both going to be on the positive side here when we're talking about the y. In other words, whatever you plug in there is going to just come out to be a positive. So that's that piece of the graph. And then we have this 1/2 x plus 2. So 1/2 x plus 2, there's my 2. 1/2 means I'm going to be going up 1, right, 2. So I'm just going to set up for that. So again, y-intercept is your 2, all right? Up 1, right 2. I need one more tick mark here. So again, there's your y-intercept. Going up 1, right 2. Draw that line coming through. All right, and then last one is the x is equal to 5. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw that line, and you can see where the the three curves are going to intersect for this region right here. All right, now we're going about the line x equals -2. So x equals -2, I don't have a mark, but that's going to be somewhere over here. There's my x equals -2, my rotation. So for this one, my rotation here is going to be a right-left. If I look at my shaded region, when I figure out for the area here, okay, my area, when I'm looking at that, if I do the top-bottom, the blue is always my top, the red is always my bottom, so that's going to match up. Okay, right-left, the right side is always green, the left side changes from blue to red, so we don't want to use right-left there. So this one, we're forced to use the method of shells. It does not match up. Again, remember, the rotation just dictates which format you're going to use, and now you follow the area. So this is going to be a 2 pi x, because we're following the area of the top bottom. So 2 pi x and then top minus bottom here, dx. So again, 3 items I need. I need the bounds. I need to plug in my x equals -2, and then my top and bottom. So the bounds here, if we're doing this as a top minus a bottom, the bounds are going to be the x value of that intersection, and then the x over here, which is our 5. All right, so when you find that, that's going to be 1.3655. 2 pi, you can take it out or you can leave it in for right now, it doesn't matter. All right, and now we have to account for that x equals -2. Then x equals -2, again, is to the left. So since it is to the left, that means it has to be in the back when I do this. So it's going to be x minus the -2, which becomes x plus 2. All right, and then final thing here is the top minus the bottom. The top is just that 1/2 x plus 2 minus the bottom, which is, again, your 5 over x squared dx. Go ahead and plug that into your calculator, and you end up with 363.402 units cubed for your answer there.